and I forgot the form. Oh, I never read off. So then I asked madam that I need to do some corrections in my presentation, and then I got to the right one. But well, what needs to be talked about is skills only. And in a skill university, what more can talk about and discuss about things? Reading habits. That's the best skill that one has to have. Either feel the book, madam, we can give them, targets of reading some books. Read something that interests you. Don't try to catch what we are telling you right now or what one feels. Over the years, you will come down to the books that I have told you that you should read. But this is something that will help you to build a knowledge base and read on every subject. There are many girls that I see that I don't take politics, I don't need newspaper. That's not correct. एक न्यूज़पेपर ही ऐसा है जो आपको दुनिया की पूरी don't watch the TV news channel. They are popular these days. I switched off news channel and deleted all my apps on news after Corona. They just frighten me, nothing else. And they are made guinea pigs. कोई भी स्टोरी पैसा लेके आएगा कुछ भी सिखाते हैं न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ो and read positive news. Then you will start understanding what's happening. Even if you don't read news in detail, read only the titles. And what one could do for now as a habit to read it, which is the news that you like today or that impacted you, just write it down. That was the news. That's it. And your knowledge base will start increasing. You'll find what you are liking, what is that you would want to know more about. That Tim Williams book, I forget about the geopolitics. Now, if you know that if I am talking about all these things from here, is because it got built up over the years in me while talking to people like across the world. This Tim Marshall's book on geopolitics, 15 years back it was written, and it has they said it in that अभी पागल बना रहे लोग that Ukraine is like Russia has invaded Ukraine. This was to happen that it's written in the book. If Ukraine is made member of NATO, Russia will invade Ukraine. It is written in this book 15 years back. That's geopolitics. अब कोई पागल नहीं बना सकता आपको कोई भी कहानी सुना. So your confidence level will grow and you start walking to your height because you have so much of knowledge. You are able to come across on any topic, discuss any topic. Architects and designers are made that way. So you have to build this. Reading skill is something which I feel will make your life, whether you become a good designer or not at the end of the day, but it will make you a good human being at least. And once you are a good human being, you are a good designer. It follows. Next thing that one needs to know is have empathy. That is a skill. Again, that needs to be built. How much we are caring about others is important. How much do we understand others is again very important. How much do we appreciate others is important again. Criticism is very easy. Appreciation is very hard. You cannot appreciate somebody else, but that will bring in. There is a book on empathy also. Read a book on empathy. I don't remember the author, but it is fantastic. By reading book, do you get empathy? No. You will understand the subject. Empathy will come from within, and that will come to everyone. So be sensitive. A designer has to be sensitive. Because unless you understand your client or their needs, how will you design for them? ये तो ऐसे ही होते हैं. We have clients who are telling us to have bed 24 inches. मेरा पैर नहीं चलेगा, मुझे ऐसे ही चाहिए. You don't have to change their habits in life. You have to build for them. You have to understand them. You have to know their culture. You have to understand their pocket size. And work for everyone. I am happy this university is allowing you to work for so many people, even after being in the campus. So it's the experiences that you get. You will get to know how to communicate with people and so collaboration. That's another skill. Collaboration with all the stakeholders that you have. You need to understand them. You need to see that how how many of them can give you inputs here to make your design speak or your design visible or your design work? So overall, there are so many things: philosophy, psychology, all these books, all these things, subjects that you need to know, at least touch and go. When you know that it is important for me to know philosophy, you start reading books. मैंने बचपन में पढ़ी थी लैंड की फाउंटेन. Now there won't be anybody in mind at least think that who is not read. I read it for a different reason, but then after getting into a design school, I read it again, and after passing out, I read the book again. Because your understanding level, like it goes on getting better and better over the years, and then you know that, oh my God, she would like, because it's complete philosophy. हर बच्चे को यहाँ से बाहर निकलने के बाद मतलब लगना चाहिए कि मैं कुछ करूँगा, and I would want to make a difference to the society. And that's what makes that Howard Rook in that book, the main character, the architect, he is like, he gets up to you. 2-3 दिन तो डिजाइन में ऐसे करते हैं लोग काम कि हावर्ड रॉक बनना है. There are several characters in that book that one would want to relate to. So you start telling your own personality. That's why you should have heroes, you should have idols, and you should start learning from them. That's again a skill set. Where do you go to? Like, if I ask you what you like, then I know what you are. So how do you improve your liking? By analyzing with the basic knowledge that you have. How do you do that? Everybody has this useless thing that got introduced to all of us and made us handicapped. For the years now. But you can make best use of this. इसका कैमरा जो है, इसमें से start clicking photos अभी से and start making folders. कि आज मुझे ये अच्छा लगा उसका फोटो खींचा है, और क्यों अच्छा लगा 2 लाइन में नीचे लिखो. Why did I like this photograph? Why did I take this frame? Just write down. Second year you want to know this. अरे बाप रे, मैं तो क्या अच्छा लगता था. What was I doing? Even the combination. Click that photograph because of the color combination. Because of the proportions of colors and the form in that, or the proportions of different colors in the same place. Then you will know you will have a huge library when you get into a practice of things that you like and you have reasoning for that. Then you will be able to build something for others more convincing. This is your own analysis. It's difficult to teach you what you like. Yes, उसको थोड़ा होगा, इधर बहुत नहीं लगे. ज़्यादा खाना खा लिया होगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. एक चक्कर मार के आया तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, है ना? ये प्रवचन फिर नहीं होगा, क्योंकि मैं लिखा नहीं हूँ, यहाँ आके बोलता हूँ, है ना? So have a glass of water, be attentive. So I think all these skills will build you, and I think ये अभी वाला sketching and reading is what I was talking to you about. Visualization and storytelling. My most important, and this was also repeated. Like I went to meet Mr. B.B. Doshi once. That I think that was my last meeting with him. One day we were talking about some Chinese school and the importance of diamonds. And this person, you have a 5 minutes meeting and you would end up teaching you so much that you understand everything that just of what he is wanting to tell you. So कहानीकार बनना सीखो, कहानी बनाना सीखो. Because after all, even if you come to AI, like उसको जब तक तुम कहानी पूरी नहीं बताओगे, वो तुमको रिजल्ट नहीं देने वाला है, या उसका जो रिजल्ट आएगा वो आपको कॉलेज से बाहर भी निकाल सकता है, या तो पीछे 1 साल वापस ला सकता है. AI is not going to help you. सारी चीजों का बेसिक नॉलेज जब तक अपने पास नहीं है, तब तक AI का आपको कोई फायदा नहीं. आज ही इवेंट के पहले मैडम पूछ रहे थे कि AI हमको ये पूरा कैंपस एक्सटेंड करने का ऑप्शन दे सकता है. तो I had got a very bad, I don't know whether I should say it on this stage or no, but child is born after 9 months. You know? So this was the reasoning given when we were doing Infosys office in Pune. Infosys people used to come and then they start filing every 15 days to everybody, including the designer. एक कॉल होना चाहिए था. This we wanted yesterday. ये क्या हुआ? I'm talking about 30 years back, madam. The first Infosys office in Pune was like this. So there was a retired army person who was deployed on site, and this colonel told him, he said, "आप कितना भी आदमी लगाओ, things will come to in its real time. It cannot. There are certain things which will take, and conceiving ideas is again how much input you and how fast it can come out is your experience. आज करो और ये टाइम प्रॉब्लम होता है ना, ये देने चाहिए बहुत सारा बैठे हम चलो ये कर. Time problems are something which will make you, but for that ये सारा it has to come to you. So storytelling, why did you do that? Storytelling is the skill, and that one needs to master. कैसे डिजाइन एक्सप्लेन करते हो? Will always depend again on the program that one generates. For design program, like I've gone to a school, talking to the students, and then what is the program given to you? You're asked to design a 2-bedroom apartment. What are the requirements? Dining table for 6, this, that, blah, blah. So everything is given. What you do? Just do a placement. So when you start programming, it has to be again a story. The client has to be mentioned, defined, his culture, his financial background, his cultural background, and where he comes from, his entire family. पूरा काम धाम जब तक के नहीं होता तो आप किसके लिए काम करोगे? To do a design for a showroom is one thing. Like we had this problem when we were assessing design competition juries in Jaipur, and we saw some designs were show flats. Now the jury was asking us whether it should be bracketed into a residential design or it should go into a retail, because that design is for sale. We had a debate on this. Ultimately, that went to a retail category and not a residential category. So, on one of the lectures in Bangalore, Professor Chandavarkar, Prem Chandavarkar, was he had come. There was an exhibition on homes put up there, and we were visiting. When Prem saw this exhibition, he wrote to me back saying that we all go and stay in hotels or resorts or whatever, and बहुत अच्छा लगता है, फोन उठाओ खाना आ जाता है, सो एसी लगा हुआ होता है, you all enjoy it. It's the luxury that you buy. But there is always a home calling, calling you back. जैसा भी घर हो, जैसा भी अपना bedroom हो, whatever it is, you come back to your home and then you are happy. And of course, everybody, the sentence is home sweet home. Even if you have stayed in the best of the luxury hotels, why? Why? Can anybody tell me why do you feel home, living all the luxuries that you have bought? And why would you not aspire to have like that? But why do you come back home and get this feeling? You have memories, and that makes it important. Those memories. So this is जब conscious होते हैं ना, reasoning करो. Everything there has to be a reason, justification, reasoning. Why do I feel nice? So because you have memories. So sensitivity, consciousness, everything you need to build cultural values. अब ये स्किल नहीं, पर ये कल्चर बिल्ड करना है. You have to build this culture of being learning and unlearning, getting experience more often than less, and not forgetting that you will always throughout your life remain a student. And culture is to understand, like you build a culture in your own office, it will have its own systems. And we are seeing that these values are right now. If if you go into the market and study and understand these uh, other professionals or not professionals but traders, how do they deal? How do they talk to you? What are the values? See, what matters is in the morning, I think it's hit me positively. Colleges are responsible for this. Schools are responsible for this. If I am not able to deliver, then first I am responsible, then my school is responsible, and then my alma mater is responsible, and then my parents are responsible. Because these our parents have less influence than us. They are the first ones. So you need to have values. What I know, what I am saying is ethics also. Values will come with ethics. And ethicality is not only the financial aspect of it, but providing services only after having thorough knowledge of the subject. There is a college in Pune, again I would not want to name it. But they tell their students, 6 महीना काम करो और प्रैक्टिस शुरू करो. दो महीना काम करो और प्रैक्टिस शुरू करो. Never ever in our field. I'll tell you, we had our Gajanan ji who spoke, Vice President of Council of Architecture. ये profession में the earning starts after 10 years, but then it cannot match any profession. If you are consciously building up yourself, you have to have an investment of 10 to 15 years in your profession. And that 10, 15 years has to be only and only hard work, nothing else. Analyzing oneself every day कि मुझे क्या नहीं आता है, where do I lack? हम लोग आजकल बहुत छोटी छोटी चीज़ों में बहुत बड़े बड़े उत्सव करने लगे हैं. बर्थडे है तो 12 बजे आएंगे, केक काटेंगे. अरे हमने पिछले साल में किया क्या है to be able to celebrate? हम एक साल से बढ़ रहे हैं का मतलब सेलिब्रेशन नहीं होता ना, कुछ अचीवमेंट पीछे है क्या? Start asking these questions to yourself. What have you contributed to building your own career? Yourself. How much knowledge have you? Deadline रखो. Again, same example every time that I tell you, which I tell you at the end of this talk. I've been repeating this in every college, no matter what, no matter how, where the faculty comes from, but something that one has to deal with. So values, you have to build your values. You have to understand what good values are. Best at this level for you to know is knowledge. जब तक कि पूरा knowledge हासिल नहीं होता है, don't sleep. Like you don't rest, not sleep, don't rest. My father used to say, change of work is rest. I used to work in Pune the whole week, teach in college in the afternoon, come back 8 o'clock to office, 2:30 I used to go to college, 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock I used to go. Yeah, up to Friday, so Friday evening I'll catch a bus, go to Nasi. We were working there, over the bungalow that we were designing. One day I was tired. And I didn't get up because my father was an architect for the building and I was doing an interior. So he said, even I have to come. You're not ready. I said, I'm really tired, I would want to go there. He said, well, you didn't feel nice that you met us? I said, I did. He said, come on. Change of work is rest. So that rest is enough. कि तुमको अच्छा लगा हमको मिलके ये आपके लिए रेस्ट हो गया. You know, come back in the evening. अभी काम करते हैं. He made me get up, get ready, go with him on site. I came back from site and he came back later from his office. But he didn't forget to get up, he would forget. And he said, Abhi masti kar. You know, that's how you build yourself. नहीं तो हमको लगता है क्या है, पापा ने पूछा ही नहीं, पापा तो कुछ बोलते ही नहीं, मेरा तो कोई चीज़ अप्रिशिएट ही नहीं करते हैं. जिस दिन अप्रिसिएशन की इच्छा हो गई ना, उस दिन समझ लो कि आपकी ग्रोथ खत्म हो गई. You will never grow after that. Don't get used to getting appreciation all the time. ये उम्र में जितना ज़्यादा क्रिटिसिज्म मिले, जितनी ज़्यादा सीख मिले, जितना ज़्यादा अनुभव मिले, जितना ज़्यादा आपको मेहनत करना पड़े, those are your building steps, and for that that is the only skill set for you, and rest will be built over the years. What your next lecture is going to be acknowledge. ये आने वाला है, इसके बाद इसके ऊपर मैं नहीं बात करूँगा, मिस्टर किवाले इज हियर एंड ही इज गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट टेक्नोलॉजी. ये मेरे बस की बात है, ये स्किल मुझे डेवलप करना है. आज मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन आधी बात होने के बाद शुरू हुआ. तो ये सब जो करते हैं, कॉन्शियसली काम करना, अपने आप को ढूंढना. देन अगेन आई फॉरगेट नेम्स नाउ. आई थिंक आई जस्ट बीन सीनियर सिटीजन डे बिफोर यस्टरडे. सो there's a book by Julia Campbell. ये एक पूरा क्लास को मैडम वेकेशन में टारगेट दे दो. The artist way. The artist way. This vacation, boys, when you go home, buy this book on Amazon. It's not costly. Julia Campbell का book है The Artist Way. It will build you. The faculty will say, अरे ये कुछ और बन के आया है छुट्टी के बाद. आपको भी ऐसा लगेगा. These are 14 chapters, so 14 weeks. I don't know how many holidays you have. How many weeks? कितना वीक हॉलीडे? एक हफ्ता हॉलीडे. तो मैडम थोड़ा ढील दे देना काम में, पर ये पूरा कराओ सबसे. Artist way, you have to do this 14 weeks course. Even the faculty can do it. All of you. It is a mirror of your personality. It tells you who you are. भगवत गीता में बोलते हैं who am I? That is the question. मैं कौन हूँ? तो इसने भी भगवत गीता का ही बेस देखिए. जूलिया कैम्बल ने ये बुक लिखा है. So follow the 14 chapters for 14 weeks. There are tasks to be completed. फ्राइडे को पढ़ना पहला वाला चैप्टर, पूरा हफ्ता उसके ऊपर काम करो, और फ्राइडे को वापस से दूसरा चैप्टर पढ़ना चालू करो. कितना कॉन्शियसली करते हो तुम्हारे ऊपर है. कितनी क्लियर इमेज आईने में देखनी है अपने आप की, इज हाउ मच सीरियसनेस यू विल डू इट. इट्स अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग बुक. वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. सो 2 books. Drawing on the right side of the view and Betty Edwards by Betty Edwards, and the other one is Artist Way by Julia Campbell. बहुत जरूरी है, हर एक के लिए जरूरी है. You will not get to know who you are, and once you know who you are, you will know what you are supposed to be. You can start building your career over there again. Okay? So टेक्नोलॉजी के बाद अभी नाउ हम लोग क्या करते हैं, ये सब बातें बनाना, कहानी सुनाना, and all that. Do you so the best thing that one needs to know, do in practice, is to work for client satisfaction. Now we started working and slowly trying to head towards making timeless designs. So which designs are for years fresh and better, with all these values and cultural background that we have, and all the skills that we have acquired over the years. Best being the observation skill, best being the listening skill. I got a slap on my face. I had gone to Germany, and we were returning back again on the 17th March. That lady was so sweet. She opened my passport at the immigration and said, "She was very happy birthday." I said, "Wow." And then I was talking something else, not listening to her. She said, "I wish you." Then I realized. I said, "So thank you so much." We Indians do not have the skill of listening. Many of us, I was one of them, till of late. So listening is the most important skill that will take you so long, for so long. So listening and observation is something that you have to be able to master. सुनो जितना सुन सकते हो. Not hearing again, listening. So you need to do this. And observation, what you like. We build our own library of what we like. And then we try to aspire to get closer to what we are liking with clients' experience and their needs. We tell our clients we design your needs at the Tata Associates. So we design clients' needs That's where the first studio is. This is our own den. This is where we work. This is where the ideation happens. This is where the creativity happens. We have a habit, we have this ritual. Like any of this work, studio staff who's designing and who's done something, like he's added some value to our designs. I made them stand on the desk, dance, and take a holiday. जिस दिन ट्रू अचीवमेंट होता है, ट्रू अचीवमेंट कि मैंने कुछ किया है और वो अप्रिशिएट हुआ है, तो उसको जिए, यू लिव दैट हैप्पीनेस। तो जाओ, मस्ती करो, पार्टी, go out, do whatever you like. We allow them to just get out or sit in the library, read whatever. We have a separate library in the studio, so either sit there, you're free to do whatever you want. So we celebrate these creative moments that happen in office. This was published in Society Intelligence Sunday and got a cover to play. This was a Riva house. Absolutely organic. We are at a place where opulence was the only language. You know? And my client said, I want everything organic. We have Saba. This is a 3,000 square foot apartment, 11th floor, in the plush locality. But we dared to do something. And this is muslin, malmale curtains. So easy to wash through. Get them again. Wash it, kharab ho gaya, make go. So no cost addition to this space, but space that came out was very, like, you know, my client merges into this atmosphere because of her personality. She's an artist. So she becomes a part of our design while she's moving around in the. And that is what we try to strive. That was the bed on the right side. What you see at the end, we raised the floor. We didn't want it. You saw this curtains hanging from the top here in the living room. On this bed also we have tried to make this curtain fall, and on this platform the mattress was laid. So the mattress is laid only on the platform, and there is a crow on the top. We wanted to just put these bulbul curtains on the side to give that wonderful effect, but she happened to be claustrophobic. So later on they were removed. This is the house published in the 77 nicest homes in India. Again, minimal, trying to be minimal, I don't say minimalist, but trying to be minimal as much as possible and try to reduce elements in the design so that it becomes timeless. So this is 5-7 years old and still as fresh as it is, and our clients have actually so all that we could do probably. Everybody sees how do you design? Again, those imaginations, visualization, in what space, what will come. So again, visualization is something that one needs to study. This looks very Scandinavian. I don't have a slide there. We had this cultural thing coming into it. The kitchen here, and on the other side was. You see that glass there? They wanted a kitchen open, but not see the wife cooking the food. So you see that functionality, like chair might hit the glass, so there is a small wooden section on the glass, which is fitted on the glass. And we wanted to draw light inside the kitchen. The kitchen was very dark. So we had wonderful light coming from the other direction. So it comes inside. But when she's cooking, we put the wooden lights here. So we have the lights there and we put it up. That also gives it character. This was one of our latest projects. I'm not explaining the time per se, but I'm talking about how do we conceive and how do we think about all these things. in the structure, and so all this storytelling happens. So here you will see those green leaves. Again, sensitivity comes into a picture. You see those green panels. They were architectural features by a developer put on this balcony, which is a wrap up on the first floor at the podium level. And every time I would enter this place, those white panels used to hit me and a wonderful greenery behind. So we said we'll put vertical greenery there, and so it merges. Now, at least here you see those white lines on the side. Now it has got merged. Now, since the plants have grown, they are merged with the background. From this project onwards is starting with your lab. Again, colors to me came very late. I have not done anything because somebody wanted or I wanted to do it. Even the colors, the artwork, artist, when he paints for himself. When we design as an art again, but we do it for somebody. But art never is being done for someone. It's very difficult to tell an artist to see this place and then conceive something and do, then he'll sell me at a bomb price. But from this project onwards, here again, being conscious about client's requirements, he was also clustering it. You see this circular window here on the picture into the here. See this window. Just matching on the other side. There is a study table. He works from home. I was again a director of my company. So, understanding people, actually, what are his requirements, understanding his problems, being sensitive towards it, trying to get them into your design. So, this made us put this window here. We wanted to have connect from there inside the house. So, this bedroom, he can look while sitting on the chair beyond that, so he doesn't feel alone into this room. This Jacqueline Kennedy Indian. This lady made this house happen. And when we did this, it was we deployed the best of the agencies to clean this. And my client said, my mother will come and clean it. She actually sent me photographs of the areas that were left out. She is a Jacqueline Kennedy. We had 3 of such clients in last 35-30 years of our practice. We would visit a site, a residence of our client. When you come out, big name, Kirloskar. And this lady who was so finicky about everything, behind you she would just remove the, बसल्यानंतर जो dent येतो सोफ्यामध्ये, she would just put her hand and make straight. When you come out, you will not see your footwear around. It's gone into the student. So, such clients, again, you need to understand them. That's again a skill. You need to observe them. You need to check. So, all this we tackled in the design solution when we went there. This lady also, finicky about cleaning. This is a linear house. Again, on Pravat Road, Franklin Gully. This is the garden behind. You see this La Palais Campus. So beyond that, La Palais Campus starts. So this is wonderful. It's a knot. And you see the dining table again. This observation space. Come into picture here. I have made half dining table in glass and half in video. Out of the box thinking. I have not touched that. Lateral thinking is another skill that you need to learn. I'll come back to this after this. So when you think out of the box, you need to solve a problem in a lateral thinking way. You have to start, you should know what lateral thinking is. Normal vertical thinking will take you to an obvious solution, but lateral thinking can bring you to a different solution that nobody has thought of. So you need to read about it, you need to understand, you need to make it part of your life. So here we did the glass top so that greenery behind is reflected, it is brought inside. So as soon as you come home, you see that greenery there. And we have replicated one on the side, which with 250 humans, 2,500 humans water is keeping it green because it's not, no sunlight comes here. Ultimate pictures with all white with Safari Floor and just trying to create more volume because it was so narrow and linear at the end. So I wanted to keep everything very bright so that the space reflects itself and brings the musty. Low key apartment with dining room, apartment, bathroom, bathroom. This was what it was. This is what it has become. This is how it was. This is how it has become. So this wow effect has to come. And you know, it's my approach has always been to get our designs closer to the nature. Again, repeated example or point that I always insist upon while talking to students is your design should be like nature because when you go into a nature, what is your obvious reaction? Wow. देखते समय लगता है wow. So, and what about buildings? You have different opinions. So why not build something which will give an obvious reaction as wow to your clients or anybody who visits it? We change the orientation only of the living and dining picture brand completely. So after all this, what now? Some good new projects are happening. Sometimes when I come back, I talk to you because now I'm focusing only on my work. 25 years I've been working for others, like as a president of the organization. So only through constant practice of your grammar, your skills, visualizes and sketches, will you become articulate in your art. All the rest is nonsense. Okay? So thank you so much. Thanks to those guys who you also thank them, the technical guys here, for having made for me to see this and experience. Last but not the least, all of you repeatedly have been saying this thousand and n times is today back home. Write down where do you see yourselves 10 years ahead? Not a submission, but write it down for yourself. Because unless you decide a destination, you will not lay a path to reach there. Okay? So
Very good afternoon, everyone. So, as Manish sir said and Pradap sir said earlier, I also used to be there, not even the like middle bench, also the last bencher, and then coming over here is a truly a great experience for me. And I would like to mention this uh, in my final year, Gauri ma'am was there. She came as a visiting faculty and she took our elective of architectural conservation. And that time I was a bit confused which stream to opt for because after your internship and when you are doing thesis, then you have the choices which career option you should choose and what is your next step. And that time itself I made clearly okay. Anyway, I was passionate about history and the architecture heritage. And that day I made sure that okay, the next step I am going forward will be the architectural conservation. And I hope many of you are also interested in history. And then when I went into architectural conservation, that time then whatever we learned is one thing. But it was my first day at a job and I was thinking, okay, I will work on the concepts, I will document the heritage and everything. And the next step, next thing was asked, okay, you are supposed to prepare a BOQ, and that too for the heritage structures, which was in a different state, Andhra Pradesh. And I was like, okay, it's a new challenge I have. And then I experienced a complete new setup, how the government organizations work. They have a very typical conventional way of working. We can call it as a rigid way. 2D drawings and 2D BOQs you are submitting, and just you are going, everything is being done manually, you are measuring everything, measuring it, because it's a tender document that you are preparing. And I feel like, okay, there is a gap, and there are new technologies which are coming in, which we can adopt. Before that, I was also doing the same thing. You guys also, I saw your work, it is amazing. You guys went to Bruges, Ahmedabad. The documentation that you have done is really, I appreciate that work. But also, I am also doing, I was doing a major drawing where I am going on the side, I'm spending like 2-3 days measuring everything manually, like you guys must have done. If someone is standing at a human scale, then you are taking a photographs, then you are correcting it, rasterizing it, and still there will be an error. Then there were in 2017 there was this tape came into a picture which I was exposed to, LIDAR scan and laser scan. But that time it was so expensive. The whatever equipment they used were costing around 15 to 30 lakhs. And after COVID, I was working on this thing into picture, that is photogrammetry. So in photogrammetry, what we are doing, with just your individual phone camera as well, you can go on site, take a photographs, and then the software, the new tech that you, the skill set you are learning will do the work for you. So here today I am going to talk about the photogrammetry in heritage using XR. XR is extended reality. So I explain all these terminologies. Sorry, but it will be kind of a lecture and not a talk maybe. But yeah, sorry. Okay. So before going ahead, I'll just have some brush up to have a clear idea about heritage. So I guess you guys must be having a elective of architecture conservation. So typically we divide heritage in these categories like natural and cultural world heritage. Then in cultural also we have tangible, intangible, and within tangible we have movable and immovable. So it is our legacy from the past, what we live with today, and what we pass on to the future generations. And then what is cultural heritage? So it can be place, locality, natural landscape, settlement area, architectural complex, architectural site, and any standing structure legally protected as place of a historical or cultural significance. How we evaluate heritage? Can I call my home as a heritage? What is the essential thing for that? Suppose when you visit some places, when you have the settlement schools, and there will be some structure which you feel like okay, you are connected to it, and then you heard a story about it. So there are multiple things which we consider as a value. So it has an associational value, by whom it was built, for what purpose it was built, what social events happen over there, what is its religious significance, what is its architectural significance. So all these values we consider, and based on that we evaluate should that building be called as a heritage or not. And very simple definition we can say if it has survived the hazards of 100 years of usefulness, it has a good claim. We are not declaring, but it has a good claim to being called historic or a heritage building. So in India, so what is World Heritage Site? So in India, not everything is World Heritage Site. We have 47 sites in India, and then for to have a claim as a World Heritage Site, it must be having the outstanding university. Heritage can be different level, local, your city level, your state level, national level, and international and global. So when all the sites that you are talking about have a very global value, that's why we are calling it as a World Heritage Site. Then comes this picture. Okay, now I'm a heritage enthusiast and I want to work on a heritage building. There's a good saying case. Better to work on a masterpiece than creating your own another random thing. So I was proud to work on a masterpiece. So these are the interventions by conservation of historic buildings by Bernard Filton. So we have categorized it in a 7 degrees of intervention. So how we conserve the building? If there is a structure, you want to conserve it. There are different categories. So it's a prevention of deterioration. You are preventing the deterioration. You are preserving the existing state, consolidating it as whatever state it is. You are just consolidating. But then comes the restoration, rehabilitation, reproduction, reconstruction. All this can't happen without you have an authentic documentation of the structure. So either you are supposed to have actual plans, photographs, evidence, everything. Until and unless you have that, the government organization or any other place won't allow you to work on those buildings. So why doing a documentation? So even if I'm saying documentation, when you are doing it manually, you are going on a site, you are documenting it, but there it will have a human error. We call it as a human error because these structures were not built in a metric or imperial scale. Okay, whatever we are having right now, feet inches or meters, it was built in some different units, and we are now fitting it into our conventional scales. So how do we document the structure? So what is our language? We talk in terms of drawing, 2D drawings. Then we'll have a nomenclature. We'll have a measurement. We'll mention the materials. Then we can go up to a 3D form. We'll also add a color texture to it. So all these things we keep on adding, but it is all manual. You are doing it by yourself. When all of you must be exploring 3D softwares and doing it on a SketchUp or Revit, whatever works that you have, softwares you are using, you are building it on your own, and it requires lots of paper. So photogrammetry, what it does, here your building structure is there, and you are just supposed to click the photographs with overlapping of at least 70% from the previous frame. That is the basic principle of the photogrammetry. I am not enhancing much of the photogrammetry because it's going to be a lengthy session. So it's just for your understanding how photogrammetry works. So in that you are just supposed to click a pictures, but just keeping in mind there should be an overlap of 70 to 80% from the previous picture that you have taken. So photogrammetry workflow, how it works? There is a structure. You go, click a photo, you do the photography, you get a point cloud data, you get a 3D mesh model, and then you get a texture model. So here I am sharing one example. How many of you know this structure or visited this structure? It's a Bundeshwar temple near Nasik, Sinnar, if anyone has visited. So if I ask you, you are supposed to create a go on site, do the measurement drawing, it's your like a trophy or a measurement drawing subject, how many days you spend on this? Okay, all of you are going there, maybe 20, 30 people spending 3 days measuring everything, clicking photographs with the scales and everything. And when I ask you to generate a drawing, it is going to take another week. And if I ask you to create a 3D model by yourself on SketchUp, that is another task. That too, you are just creating a model, texture, and other things are going to be hectic for you. So this one example I will be showing throughout how I am just, this is my PhD work, I am still doing my PhD, and whatever I am showing here today is from the same PhD work. So as I mentioned, the point cloud data. So this is what you get. So point cloud is the term which is used when you are dealing with the laser scans or the photogrammetry. The B.Arch software that you have also has the capacity to import all this point cloud data. So it's not just BIM now, it's a heritage building information modeling, HBIM, where people are using this HBIM to conserve the historic buildings. So there different steps are involved, but the good thing is whatever you are digitally documenting, you can directly import it in the software and use it for whatever purpose you want. So this is how the photogrammetry works. All these things you can see. So as I mentioned, it works on the principles of the photograph. So this is the drone photographs, aerial photographs that I have taken. All these aerial photographs you can see, and even the digital ones for the close clicking photograph, close proximity. So this is one step which is done. Then comes okay, you have clicked the photographs, you have point cloud data. Then there are softwares which convert this point cloud data to a textured, mesh data. So there is a triangulation mesh, how it works. So if you work on the level of details, there is a triangulation mesh. Maximum the mesh, object is even more smoother, and if someone is using Blender or Rhino or any such software, they can relate how the mesh model works. So this is the mesh model. Once I click the photographs, this is the model I am getting out of that. Just clicking photograph, nothing else. No any equipment or expensive equipment is used, it's just a photograph. But still, the thing is missing. I can identify the spatial configuration, where is the build and build, what is the volume of the structure, I can identify, but still texture is missing, and from that, without that, I cannot identify what is happening over there. So this is how the software itself helping you out to create a 3D model which is texture, and this you can use anywhere. I am talking in terms of heritage because I am a conservation architect and it's my domain. But think in your perspective, even if you are designing something, you are working on your thesis, and as an architect, the very first basic step that we do is do the site analysis. When you are showing the context, it's not just random buildings and open and built portion that you are showing. You can adapt this technology and even show the context, what is in the surrounding, where is the open plot, and that gives you an idea, okay, here there is a vegetation, where there is an open space, how it is going to merge into my context. Everything is possible with this thing. And not just 3D model that you are getting. The orthographic projection, the architect's language, when we talk in terms of plan, elevation, section. So we need orthographic elevation to submit to create our drawings. So these softwares also provide us the orthographic projection. So this is from one east side elevation of the temple. Sorry, it's a south side elevation, and here it gives you for the rasterization. Earlier back time, what we used to do, we'll click a photograph, we'll do a correction in a Photoshop, we'll make it orthographic. When if you must have done any urban case study, and if your faculty asks you to do a streetscape, Then this is what we used to do. We'll click individual photograph, then stitch it, make orthographic corrections, and then raster it. It was again a hectic task, but here you are getting a complete orthographic projection and not just a base model. Here again you have a complete texture. And now, as a conservation architect, I can identify what are the defects over there. When I am doing a defect mapping and a condition assessment, I can easily identify where there is a crack, there is a blackening, there is efflorescence, or there is an additional element, alteration is done, addition is done. Everything can be marked with a good precision. It's not a random thing that I am creating on a CAD. I have a reference picture with me, and based on that, I am doing all these things. So, this is what a photogrammetry does. Once you have this model, what is next? Because this is again a old age technique now. Even if some of you might have listening this right now, but this is again a I am telling it's a old take because already people are using it for more than 5 years. There are new things which are coming up. So this is how you are getting the elevations, the roof plan, everything which you can utilize for your academics. What is next? So this is where my skill set starts because I was very much interested into a XR, and again I will say okay, restlessness is the thing which initiates you or which triggers you to develop that skill set. So I didn't learn these things by the conventional methods of a teaching or anything. It was just the you have that trigger inside you. Okay, you have imagined something, and right now you are supposed to get that output from the system, and then you start investing. So you indulge yourself into that. You won't even pick any calls or you won't talk to anyone, but until and unless you achieve that result. So that's what. Until and unless you have that restlessness within you, until and unless you are satisfied, you won't get that output. So about the photogrammetry, these are the softwares which are dealing with the photogrammetry. Apart from that, other ones are also there, but these are the reality capture and mesh are free, even the use of metashape. But reality capture gives you more freedom in terms of customization, whatever customization you are supposed to do in a photogrammetric model, you can do that. Whereas mesh is very basic software. Just you are supposed to dump your photographs and it will give you the final model. Whereas reality capture will involve some steps to give you a better output. And there is a limitation. In reality capture, you can input as many photographs as you want. Again, one thing I would like to mention in that model that you were saying about the Bundeshwar, I had clicked almost thousands of photographs. So those are also less. In some cases, there will be a possibility you are clicking almost around 10,000 photographs and then developing it. But the thing is, you are just doing it within a day and you are getting the output. The thing is, you can also click a video. It's not just a photograph. You can click a video and then convert that video into frames. So how the video works is nothing but a combination of frames. So our video works on the basis of 30 fps or 60 fps. Those are 60 frames per second, 30 frames per second. So you can just simply click a video with the stable video is there. There won't be any disturbance or bloodiness, and then you will get a good output because our model has to be sharp. If you click a blurry picture, then even it is going to harm your output as well. So photogrammetry is done. We have a model with us. Right now we'll see what is to be done with this. So you can use it for your walkthrough. When I have a model, I can take it anywhere. So whatever rendering software that you are exploring, maybe D5 or Enscape or Twinmotion, Lumiere, these files are compatible with all these softwares. You can simply import it, keep it as a context. Whatever you have designed, keep it over there and build a nice walkthrough. So this is the existing model where I have changed the surrounding and changed the maybe a day setting. I converted it to night, add some artificial lights to it and how it will look like. That I explore if I want to provide some specific lighting, maybe for Independence Day or anything like that, how I can do. So this all explorations are possible with this kind of models. This is walkthrough of that. So here the model is photogrammetry, but I have used a Twinmotion software to create a complete walkthrough of that. So it feels realistic. You can. It's not just for the architects, but also if someone is interested into VFX and film production, they can use this model and create a VFX graphics as well. So all the landscape and surrounding that you are looking at is created later on. It's not there on the site. Just the model which is visible was existing. Again, the same video with just few alterations where I'm just adding few lights. These lights can be turned on. Okay, let me. So all this also for the contextual reconstruction, these amlakas and the flag that you see was not there in the existing temple. That is projected on the temple later on. So when you are creating a virtual conjecture reconstruction, this can happen because most of the time due to a lack of evidence or authentic documentation, UNESCO or any such other government organization do not allow you to do any experiment on the structure itself. We are in Pune, you have visited Shaniwarwada, you visited Raigad, Fort, we get to see planes over there. But we can do a virtual reconstruction of that having a photogrammetry model, and there will be definitely a physical model you will have to build, but again the same thing. So it's the same. You can add water, all these dias. Those are later on added elements to it, but still the structure looks so much realistic. You can add and experiment how the shadow is going to work. If someone is coming up with proposal plan to it, if some new development is coming up, how it is going to merge into that. That also we can sense firsthand in the visuals rather than experimenting on its side, then again removing it. So the all benefits of this photogrammetry model is you can check everything virtually first, then go on the site, because most of the times this thing happens that you are experimenting on live site and then you see okay this stone or the proposal that you have created is not complementing the context that you are building in, and then you are again removing a lot of efforts gone into that. But if you have all these things in your proposal, then it is a crystal clear and you are ready to go with the things. This is now another virtual reality walkthrough. So this is from Kutukshahi Tombs in Hyderabad. We were having students from British University Egypt. It was just a 1 day or 2 day workshop we were having with them, and they had documented. So this model is also a photogrammetry, but it's not just a one camera. 10 students individually click photographs on random areas, and then we gather data from the 10 students and then build it. So it has lots of flows because they were experimenting, but still the good thing is it does not require just one single camera. You can add multiple photographs from different cameras. Like you can add a drone data, you can add a mobile data, you can add a DSLR, anything you have, you can add that and then do the post production. This is the QR code for the photogrammetry walkthrough of a Buddheshwar temple. You can simply click a photograph and check it later. It has the same Buddheshwar model as I had shown in the walkthrough, but it has a virtual 360 panorama walkthrough you have. So the guys who were there in the VR lab, they had done the similar thing where they had created a panorama. So it's the same thing, VR panorama, but series of panorama which allows you to teleport from one place to another. So it's a clickable. You can just click on the picture and you get teleported over there. So this is for the walkthrough. Then coming up the HBR, as I was mentioning, BIM, it's building information model, the heritage building information model. One thing, you can go with the photogrammetry that way where you will get the authentic. But as an architect, if I am supposed to do maybe maintenance of this building, how the maintenance are going to happen in the future of certain buildings. So it's not someone is going to, all these structures are going to be documented like this. They have their repository of a virtual repository where everything is mentioned. Their virtual models are created by the scanning and then you are creating by yourself. So the 3D model, mesh model from photogrammetry which you get, but the HBR that I am mentioning, you are creating it on by yourself. So in that HBR, you add all the data related to structure. Its material, finishes, the specification, or else apart from that, from where your electric linings, like wirings are going, where are the services, so that you shouldn't be hampering it in the future. All these things are going to come up within that model in HBR. Then you create a texture model, and later on it can be explored in augmented reality as well as virtual reality. So this is the interface of HBR. So this is the Revit. Many of you must have already explored this. So this is kind of a photogrammetric point cloud data we get into a Revit. So it's nothing but you have this profile to raster. So as we import other things, plan, PDF, image into CAD, then we raster it. Similarly, point cloud data comes into Revit, but again you will have to model it manually, but you will have a reference to catch. So that is your reference, and this kind of virtual projections you can build. Then coming to the next part of this session, I talked about only the photogrammetry. Now I will be talking about the extended reality. What is XR? So XR is the umbrella term which is used for AR, VR and AR. That is augmented reality, virtual reality and mixed reality. And combinedly we use term XR for all three. So here the extended reality is an umbrella term encompassing various immersive technologies that blend digital and physical environment. So what is virtual reality? It's a fully immersive digital environment that simulates a real or imagined world. Users interact with VR through headsets and occasionally additional equipment like gloves or controllers. Dedicated VR set is required for this experience. So the one that you have in your lab is a VR headset where you cannot see the existing environment. When you wear those glasses, VR headset is completely virtual. The real world connect is lost, so that's why we are calling it just virtual reality. The next one I am talking about is the AR, augmented reality. So here what you are doing, you are using your Android device. So superimposes digital information or objects into the real world. AR enhances the user perception of their surroundings with interactive elements visible through devices like smartphones, tablets or AR glasses, tracking based on the sensors imprinted device. So here you will need a device, either Android or iOS, your simple phone. The thing you use in a Snapchat or Instagram, the filters that you use is nothing but the augmented reality. Where you have an existing environment, you open your camera, your existing environment is in front of you, and top of that you are superimposing the virtual object. That is your AR. So in this picture you can see there is a mobile phone. I can see the existing environment and then superimposing these characters. So that is the AR and and tracking based on the sensors inbuilt in device. So most of you must be having an iPhone. It has a lidar. So lidar is important to check the spatial configuration. It detects where there is an object. So it knows where the depth analysis is there. So that is also used by the AR features. It identifies the image, the horizontal plane, the model, and based on that you can develop your own applications. Then comes the another term, mixed reality. So it's a combination of both. So here you can see the existing environment with wearing those headsets. So if I am wearing a VR headset, but still I am able to look at the existing environment, I can look at all of you. And on top of that, when I am superimposing something, that we call as a mixed reality. But in that case, how it works, I'll also be having a controller, or my hands will be my controllers, and I can do some gestures or haptics or hand tracking, and I can manipulate the object that is in front. So it combines elements of allowing digital and real world objects to coexist and interact in real time. MR requires more advanced hardware to create a seamless blend of physical and virtual elements. It's not the same thing like previous ones, Oculus that VR assets can use for the MR. It needs to have a cameras in front. So the Oculus Quest 3 or even the one that we have will work for that, the Microsoft HoloLens and the new Apple Vision Pro architectures, which provides a good support to the mixed reality. So the hardware key components include VR asset in this. These are the softwares I'm talking about. So it's not the regular software, these are the game engines which allows you to work on this technology. So one is Unity, used worldwide. Most of the games in your Android phone are developed by the Unity. You must have seen this symbol as well in some of the games. And the Unreal Engine also, if you are like a game addict, you will know the Unreal Engine. It's by the Epic Games. And the Twin Motion is also from the Unreal Engine. So these things are required, and Excel applications are powered by complex software. Sensors and tracking. XR system utilizes various sensors including accelerometers, gyroscopes, and depth sensors to track users' movement and interactions with the digital environment. So the advanced sensors allow you, or else the one which we were experiencing, you cannot wear that for more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You will feel nauseous because if even if you are moving around, the model is not moving. But with this headset, when you are moving and the model is a photogrammetric model, the model will go behind and it will give you a feel like a real time or real life experience where the model is also reacting how you are getting it, and the gyroscope is there. Even if I lower my height and go upside, it will do the same. I can move around. Depth sensors are there, track sensors are also there. So this is the augmented reality workflow. Before that, I would like to mention, previously we were discussing how AI is going to work, and this is going to take away the things and we cannot rely on that. But in my case, AI helped me a lot because I am not using it for a creative work but a donkey work, and which I don't know. So this is how we are supposed to master the AI. You should be the master of your AI and you should be capable enough, and you are taking that call, okay, I am giving a donkey work to that AI and I'll have my creative freedom. So all these takes which I was mentioning require a script, C# script, which is not in our core curriculum or anything. So it was completely new, and if I start learning that, that is going to consume another few months from me. So I took a help of AI for that. Okay, I know what is the output I want. Okay, if I'm pressing on something, how it should react, what should happen, if it should revolve, change the scale, rotate on the spot, or some information should pop up, the model should change. All these things previously I had visualized, but I was not able to do so because I was not good at scripting. Script knowledge we don't have. Then I take a help of the AI. Okay, these are the softwares I'm using. Are the keys, and I want to have this final output. It also took a lot of time because firstly it was not understanding what I exactly wanted, but somehow it helped me. It was just luck by chance maybe, but yeah, it helped me a lot. So this is the augmented reality workflow. How augmented reality works, that I will show. So augmented reality, you have your phone camera, iOS or Android. Then when you open your camera, it will ask you for the plane identification. Either horizontal plane or anything, you have to identify a floor or a table or anything like that. Then the target tracker will appear on that, where you want to place your object. So there is a target tracker. When you pin the object, your object will place over there, whatever 3D model that you have created will get pinned. Then you have this kind of interaction. So we are very much used to of this pin scale. So I see a lot of people, even if it's a printed, they'll try to zoom in on a printed paper, but it's not the case. So, but this is our adaptation. Earlier this was not the case, but this is how the user experience and behavior we have developed in previous years. So this kind of interactions I have adapted to my model. So when you pinch it, it will scale. When you rotate, it will turn on a rotate on the axis. And I move, it will drag here and there. So these are the very basic translations I want to have in my model. And then you can hyperlink data, additional data. So when you can have additional buttons, touch on it, it will take you some other website. So this is one of the options in augmented reality. You can see there is an existing environment, and the model that you are seeing is a virtual model. So this is our base, and here I was experimenting with the occlusion. Since it's an Android device, it does not work well with the occlusion. Occlusion means it identifies the existing setup, what are the objects in there, and then it will put your model behind those objects. So in that case, iOS works better because it has a LiDAR scanner. It will sense that depth, and it will automatically put your object behind the whatever objects you have in between. But this is how it works. Okay, in the existing environment, you can keep it and manipulate the same. Then these are the other explorations in augmented reality. So the first one is the Instagram filter. You have a image, and then there is a popping up. There is a sketch. On the sketch, the model is popping up. So there are n number of applications, such as there the trigger was the image target identification was there. Earlier, I was placing it on a horizontal surface, so it identified the table and my model got placed over there. But here the target was the image, where it identified that plant. Okay, this is plant is supposed to be a target, and whenever my camera is exposed to that plant, it will automatically place model on top of it. And this is the another one. So this is the 3D model target. It's a 3D printer. You can 3D print the same photogrammetric model, and top of it you can put your model. So virtual model. So this has the adaptability in a museum where you have a 3D printed model, and you can still see. So whenever it will, you can have these immersive experiences whenever you are having a museum visit. So those objects can talk to you. You don't. Not everyone in India can afford a guide on a heritage sites, and then it is coming. But everyone is carrying a phone. So your phone itself becomes your guide, and you can explore the sites in a better way. And this is again a conjectural view. It's tested on site. So here, my existing temple itself is my target. So when I open the camera, and if my temple is in front of me, from anywhere if I capture it, now consider from just one side, from anywhere I am looking at the temple, it will superimpose my virtual model, and it will also eliminate all the, if people are moving, those will be vanished. If I am adding certain elements, those will also be vanished. Can you play from here? The next, this one. So here you can see this is the existing temple, and all of a sudden on top of it there will be a virtual model. You can see the people roaming over there. There is no Amrita, and then automatically the virtual model appears. It also has the Amritas which were not there in the temple. I can do a virtual reconstruction on top of it. So within India we have many sites which are in this state, dilapidated state, where those are being destroyed or not in a good condition, but still we would like to see it, how it was before. And this is the best way to do it. Okay, you are just carrying your phone and you can see around. So just imagine if the same thing you are doing in the Shaniwar Wala or Raipur, you are going and experiencing how it would have looked like. So even if I am moving, the model still stick to it, and I can experience it from anywhere. So even I can highlight certain things within the model. So based on the user, if school-going children is going, I can teach him the basic geometrical shapes from here. I can identify, okay, there is a cube, there is a pyramid, there is a cone. If researcher is going, I can just highlight the patterns, motifs, or anything is there. So you can customize the experience based on for whom you are designing. This is the university model for the Boxer University where currently engaged with. So here you can see the plane identification is there, and it will also show you my uh, finger gesture. So this is the target tracker which is happening when I place on it, tap on it, model will appear, and those are my fingers. How those are reacting. The dots that you can see is nothing but my finger gestures on my mobile screen. And within that, you can come up with, like ma'am was saying, Chancellor ma'am, Vice Chancellor ma'am, they want to see the new proposal, how it will be seen in a Symbiosis. So if you have a existing documented version of the Symbiosis college, then you can come up with a new design and see if it's merging and with the context or not. This is the project work. So the PhD work I'm doing is my individual, but my PhD was a project PhD where I got a chance to work on a Department of Science and Technology funded project that was creating digital heritage of representative architectural marvels from each state of Northeast India. P.I.W. Shivaji, my guy. So here we were supposed to go on in the Northeast India and document structures over there from the residential typology. So, and the only thing we use is the photogrammetry. So here you can see, this is the app we have created for an Android device, and we have deployed this in a National Museum. So this is indoor space of our house, and I can place it. It is showing our logo. This is the structured boron tree house. So all the thatch roof and everything with individual little. Just imagine how much time it is going to take if you do it manually. But you do this photogrammetry. It's the simplest way. I can also add the additional information in my app. I can close that. I can go to the next step. So there is a button. I can navigate. So just by sitting at one place, you can see those things, and to boost the tourism, this is the best thing, because then you get to know, okay, what is there in the state or anywhere, and then people will have that urge of going there. And you can also add a VFX, like here I have added fire, in somewhere I have added the wolf which is howling. So this picture is from Nagaland. The deer, which is later on. So you can also show the flora, fauna of the state based on the library you have. But again, the structure is the main element. But depending on what you want to show, there is unlimited possibilities. And this is the contemporary version where they have shifted to a team group. This is our house, and this is a Nishi from Arunachal Pradesh. So you can, the same thing I explored in all the formats. So I am showing you right now just augmented reality, where I am using my mobile phone and then exploring this. But the same thing I have explored in virtual reality as well as mixed reality. So yeah, I will shift. This is from Arunachal, Tripura, Agartala. There is this Liam tree house. It's on a pilotis, but the detail which is captured is really nice, and there are few tricks for the photogrammetry to get the best output. If you can try, just out of curiosity, there are few applications like Polycam and others, just to start with how it works. Once you have that idea, then you can shift towards the software. Then how the virtual reality works. Definitely you are supposed to have a VR headset, virtual reality headset. Then the controlling interface. Either your hands can be the controller, or you have a controller devices in your hand. Then the navigation and movement based on the joysticks of that. All of you have played the video games, have those joysticks on a computer game. You have a player which can move forward, go here and there, look around. So navigation, same switch from one scene, I can switch to another. Then there is information which should come in front of me, and then there will be interactions. There are the objects which I can grab with my controller, I can throw it. There is a suppose bhala, I just pick it, I'll throw it like that. So this is again only show example, but in a virtual reality. So here I have created one portal which will switch the same. So the model will be the same, but the surrounding, the natural lighting that you are seeing is going to change, and it will also show you some additional informations on top of it. So this is a temple. I have added the 360 image later on as a surrounding. So only model is photogrammetry, but all these things are virtual. This is my portal. When I enter, things will change. So it's switched to the night scene, and now I have kept the interactions very minimal so that you shouldn't struggle where to aim, what to place. Just go forward wherever you hit, there is a radius. If you hit that radius, information will come. It also has a voice over, so while moving forward, you can still listen to the information, whatever is there. Again, you can climb, so it also has that physical barriers. So it just climb, let's say you can show the plan, how it is. So it depends on what you want to show. And this is how you can move around. So here you are also not becoming nauseous because you are responding to a structure. When you are moving, structure is moving behind, and you can have a virtual tour completely. So here I cannot see the existing environment. I am completely immersed into a virtual environment. Same with this virtual reality. This is that is for the Bhubaneswar. This is for the Northeast project. Here also we have created a complete setup. This is the work where this is the setup we created from complete Brahman. We have highlighted the India and all these states of the Northeast, and these are the portals. So you choose which state you want to go. So I choose Arunachal. I'll get teleported to the Arunachal Pradesh directly, and then there will be a setup. So this model is photogrammetric, but the environment you are supposed to create virtually, how it will look like. You can take a 360 photographs of that space to have a better appearance. Then I'm teleporting to Assam. This is the Assam house, and here, if I go there, it will take me to the home page from where we started. If I go right, then I guess there will be another house in Meghalaya or Assam. Okay, Assam, that's where we are. And all these are the portals. So it's a completely gaming experience. Those hands I can see. This is another structure which I have kept on a terrain. So all these things, terrain and everything is done manually. You are supposed to create it, but the model has no limitations. So same thing, you go ahead and there will be information. Now it asks to photograph me. With controller, I can grab that bull skull. I can rotate it, throw it, whatever I can do. So here, I can grab it in my hand. I can see it from the closer. So if you are showing any excavated or archaeological site, these artifacts you can just take and keep it back. All these things are physical. This is the Goramanji again. So this is just for you to understand how the VR works. I will move forward. Next is mixed reality. So here, sorry, I'm taking a lot of time, but I'll just quickly run through all the slides and show you what I have done this week. So this is the mixed reality. Again, you are reading everything, but this time it won't be a completely virtual. It is superimposing virtual on the existing environment. So by reading headset, you'll be able to see at the surrounding and then looking things different. And this is for you guys. Okay, this is just to show. This is the button. I can identify my hands. I can rotate it, and when I click on that image, it will show me a sculpture which is proposed there. So if I am coming up with some idea, I want to show it how it is merging in the structure, the context. You can show it like that. Okay, whatever is there in the surrounding, and this is the random 3D file I took it from the warehouse, and I was just checking how it will look like. So there are multiple applications. This is just uses that I have done, but you can come up with your own individual applications for this. How it is going to help you out. The same for the mixed reality here in the Northeast. So here I am not using any controllers. My hands are my controllers. Those are the trackers. It will identify my hand, and based on that, Based on that, I can directly touch the virtual model, and it is same as a okay. So this is the button, and you can see existing environment. There's a virtual projections. I click on that button, virtual model appears, and I can interact with the actual physical object. As you can, okay, suppose this is the bottle, and I'm rotating it, going, and you can stretch to scale it down. If I want to look closely observe something, I can do that as well. This is another temple in Nandi near Hyderabad. Again, this is my main button. I press on it, the model will switch, and here the water is added later. The temple is photogrammetric model, but what was added on? House. So in augmented reality, you can just move it on the floor, on an axis. You can just set it on a mobile screen. But here it is more immersive because everything is in your hand, and you can just pull it closer, make it even smaller, this tiny, and whatever is there screen is not even giving you the experience of like a 40% or 30%. But when you observe it in a VR or AR headset, it's even more better. So the next, this is the mixed reality for the Gundeshwar temple. So this is the plug, is the trigger button which I have used. So the same principle, hand is the tracker, and when I click on the plug, it will trigger the umbrellas on the top and also the portal at the top. And if I want to show a band of a husky at the bottom or to add something, so when I press the plug, it will go off. Even when I touch it off, it will show something. So it's all about you, what you want to show. This is just for the random explorations I was exploring. Okay, how waves works, how the particle works, how other things work. So that's why I was exploring, and this is the final thing. Thank you. I hope many of you will. So this is not the limit. Right now, after photogrammetry, NERV, that is neural guidance field, and motion splatting, which is coming up. That also you can focus on and try to learn how it works. That will be much beneficial for you. And this is my LinkedIn access. If you guys want to learn or have some doubts, you can connect me on